you're thinking of moving to Oklahoma. My name is Kinsley and I'm a local realtor in the Oklahoma City, Edmond area. And if you're thinking about moving, whether in 10 days or 10 months, I'd love to be able to connect with you and potentially help you on your move. I love getting to help people every single day and just helping them find their Oklahoma homes. And that's kind of what I wanted to pinpoint in this video is how do I move to Oklahoma? Because a lot of people are drawn to Oklahoma for lots of different reasons. I have lots of videos on pros and cons, reasons you might want to move, reasons you might not want to move. And so if you're still doing that research, definitely feel free to go back and watch some of those videos as you try to make an informed decision about whether you should move. But if you have decided that, yeah, Oklahoma is the place for us, I want to move there, I want to kind of talk to you through the steps of how to make that move, how to make it as seamless as possible. Because the reality is a lot of people maybe have moved within a state, have maybe moved within a city, but moving across the country is maybe new to some people, or just moving to Oklahoma is new to some people. And so every state is different, every state has its own things. And so I kind of wanted to just walk through the basic steps of what you should do if you're thinking about moving to Oklahoma. Number one is to do your research. I kind of mentioned it, but go on, watch videos. You clicked on this video, which means you're probably already doing your research, but look and see if Oklahoma might be the place for you. Oklahoma is not for everybody. And so go through, see if from a Google search, from watching videos, reading articles, looking up different facts, is Oklahoma the place for you? And if so, is there a specific part of Oklahoma that might be better or that you might like more? I live north of Oklahoma City in Edmond, and we absolutely love living here. We didn't grow up here, my husband and I, but we moved here about 3.5 years ago, and we have absolutely loved it and fallen in love with the people and just Edmond as a whole. And so I suggest that if you're thinking about moving, try to pinpoint somewhere. Maybe it's Edmond, maybe it's not. Go ahead and try to find maybe even a couple areas that you might be drawn to if you're looking to move to Oklahoma. Number two, I would say, is once you kind of decide that, okay, I think Oklahoma is the place for us, or at least we're pretty sure, then go ahead and connect with an agent. In this case, that could be me. And the reason I say this is because, at least for me, I can't speak for everybody, but I love to be able to help people and kind of deciding, is this the place for you? Answering questions that you may not be able to Google and get an automatic answer. Answering questions that are maybe specific to you that isn't answered in a video. And so definitely feel free to reach out to me. And by connect, I don't mean go and sign a bunch of documents. I just mean reach out to somebody whose face you've been able to see and whose voice you've been able to hear. Because I know if you reach out to me, I would love to be able just to help answer any questions and see if Oklahoma is the place for you. Because in the end, I want to help people buy houses, but I also, if Oklahoma is not the place for you, I want to be able to help you realize that before you make the move. And then number three, once you kind of get settled on it, once we connect, I would say plan a visit, maybe a couple visits. I know some people, if they have the time, if they have the resources, they will come and maybe do an introductory visit where they will drive around different parts. You know, some people are thinking between Oklahoma City Metro, Tulsa Metro, so they will fly in, visit one, drive to another, visit that one. Some people, know they want to be in the Oklahoma City Metro, they just don't know what suburb, and so they will come and kind of visit all the suburbs and just kind of drive around and see what they like. Some people know, okay, I want to move to Edmond, and so they'll come, maybe we get coffee the first time and kind of talk through their situation, we just get to meet. But if you know that, this is the place that you want to move and you want to go ahead and start looking at maybe a couple houses and getting all of that done, then I definitely would love to be able to meet with you and potentially show you some properties that might fit what you're looking for. And this one, number four, could potentially go before or after number three, but it would just be to connect with a local lender, because when you are buying a home, unless you're paying full cash, you will need a pre-approval letter from a lender saying that the bank is going to loan you the money for the house. As we're looking at houses, it's always good to have that letter in hand, because if you find a house you love and you don't have that letter, sometimes that letter can take a day or two to get. Sometimes it can take literally just 30 minutes, but depending on what documents you have readily available, sometimes it can take a little bit longer. And so if you find a house you love, sometimes you don't always have a day or two to get that document. And so it's always really good to have that paper beforehand. I have lenders that I have loved working with who work at local banks who are able to get generally really good rates compared to some other banks. And so if you need a recommendation, definitely feel free to ask and I can send you some, but it's always good to kind of make that connection, especially before you seriously are looking at houses. If you're coming to visit and we're just meeting for coffee, there's no need to get it. But if you are coming and you're looking at houses and you are really in that timeline of getting ready to buy, it's definitely a letter that you want to go ahead and a contact that you want to go ahead and make, because without it, you literally cannot buy a house. And then number 5, once you have that letter, once you've really pinpointed your areas, we'll go look at houses. And so typically what I'll do before you come and visit and look at houses is we'll set up an MLS portal where it'll kind of populate everything that you are wanting in a house, and you can go on and favorite houses. You can send me a list of houses you want to see. I can send you ideas of houses. I find that most people kind of know what they're wanting to look at before they come, but I'm always open to giving ideas. But I want to make sure that when you come and visit, the houses you definitely want to see, you get to see. So always tell me the houses you want to see. We can go look at them. And then kind of from there decide, are any of these houses the one that you want to move forward on? Do you want to try to purchase one of these? Do you want to put in an offer? As we look at houses, as we make that decision, we will get the paperwork together. I usually do everything digitally, so writing up contracts, sending things for signatures. So if you are not here, if you have to go back home, or maybe you weren't actually able to come visit and look at homes in person, we can do all that through email, through text, through phone calls, and it's actually a super simple process, which kind of I want to put in 5B because, like I mentioned, some people can't come look at houses. And so I have sold multiple houses just via video and FaceTime for people who can't come and look. And so I'll FaceTime them through houses, video them through houses, try to show them everything I can think of, everything I would want to see if I were potentially buying the house, and then I'll send that to them. And like I said, people have looked at houses, bought houses, closed houses, and everything without ever actually being here in Oklahoma to look at them. I've had that happen multiple times. And so if that is your situation, I'd love to be able to kind of help you in a similar way. Again, showing you virtually, and then just having that good communication to make you feel the most comfortable. Because buying a house can be really stressful, especially when you're moving from out of state. And I know that even more so when you can't see it. So I want to be able to make it as easy and as seamless as possible for you. So number 6, let's say that we submit an offer, it gets accepted, we negotiate, and the house is yours. So we have a time period that we are under contract before we officially close. And there's lots of different ways that this looks depending on if you have to sell a house first, if you don't have to sell a house, but maybe you won't be here for closing. There's lots of different ways that this can look, but really when we go under contract, our first 10 days within the contract are typically going to be the inspection window. And so I have some really great contacts that I trust that if I were buying a house, I would use. And so you have the liberty to choose your own inspectors if you want, but if you do want some assistance, I have some really trusted people that I love to work with that I can recommend, because reality is a lot of people are not here and are not able to be here for them. And so that's one thing that I like to go to and kind of help oversee. That way I can help answer any questions you might have, getting those things scheduled for you, because again, you may not have those contacts here that I have. And so we'll have our inspection window throughout this time. It's typically here, the average closings are around 30 days. Sometimes they're 45. On occasions they're 60, just depending on the situation. But generally here, the typical contract to close is about 30 days. And so during that time we have inspections, which during that time especially I will be talking with you. We'll be kind of going through a different type of negotiating of what things we want to ask for. Is this really the house for you? Things like that. And then throughout that time, you're also going to be working with the title company. Again, I have some really trusted people that I love working with at a title company in town. You'll be working with your lender, getting all of those documents. There will more than likely be an appraisal that will happen. I will be kind of helping oversee and make sure all those things go smoothly. Each person, whether it's the title company or the lender, they are really good at their jobs. And so I really trust them to make sure that the things they need are getting done. But I also want to make sure that I'm advocating for you and making sure that for you, everything is getting done the way that it should and everything's on time and things are getting done like they need to. If all goes smoothly, then in about 30 days or so, then we will go to the closing table. And again, like I said, for a lot of people, if they can't be here, even if they were able to maybe come visit, but they can't be here on closing day, there are options through the title company to sign remotely via a remote notary. I've had a lot of clients do that. Honestly, probably about half my closings end up being that way, just because people can't be here the day that they want to close. I will go to the title company, I'll pick up your keys, I'll meet you at your house when you get here. And so that's definitely something I've done many times and I'm happy to do for you as well. But then if you are here, then we'll go to the title company, you will sign your papers, and it actually ends up being a pretty easy process. You're usually only signing papers depending on your lender and the amount of documents. I would say most max times are 30 minutes, could be longer. And then we kind of wait for the sellers to sign, which usually is even shorter. So usually within an hour, we're in and out and you have your keys to your new home. So moving can be definitely a complicated process. I understand that moving from out of state is even more complicated at times, but I love being able to work with out of state clients. They have been some of my favorite clients to work with for sure. And I feel like I have put a lot of systems in place. I put a lot of good things to be able to help you and make it as easy as possible. And so if you are thinking about moving, if this whole thing scares you and you're not quite sure where to start, like I said, feel free to reach out to me. I'd love to be able to help answer any questions. I'd love to be able to point you on the right path. Even if me talking talking to you makes you realize that maybe Oklahoma is not for you, or where I primarily work isn't for you, I'd love to be able to help guide you into a place that might be better for you. Thank you so much for watching to the end of this video. I hope that you found it super helpful. Again, if you have any questions, reach out to me. I'd love to help, and I will catch you in my next video.